I'm sick and tired about talking about Gibbs White and him going to City or Arsenal or Antarctica. Let's focus on some transfer news on players coming to Forest. Welcome to your transfer news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. I hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest transfer in news, because we ain't talking about outs today. And if you want to hear more about Forest transfer news in, make sure you let me know by hitting that like button. Let's get it to 562 likes. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new. Coming up, we'll talk to you about that winger that I really do want to come to Forest. Links are getting a lot stronger based on his comments. We'll talk to you about a defender being linked to Forest from the Premier League, who is utter crap in my opinion. And yeah, I'll tell you more about that in just a second. But I want to start with this news about Yilmaz. Yilmaz, who I think is a sensational winger and exactly what Forest need. Guy is a baller. He can proper play football, and I want him. Remember, he was linked very heavily with Forest in January, and the expectation, well, I say the expectation, the rumours were that Forest put in a 25 million bid for him, which got rejected by Galatasaray back then. And we told you the reports back then were that Forest were like, okay, we're not going to get him in January, but we're coming back in the summer. And now there's starting to be some rumours and movements towards it. So, Yilmaz, for those of you who don't know him or can't remember him, cracking player. Let me give you some of his stats. Galatasaray played 111 games, scored 22 goals. He's also played for Turkey internationally, 26 games there, had a couple of goals as well. And yeah, probably his best performances were international level. Just in general, man, I just love his pace. I love his agility. I love his balance. And I think he will work perfectly in the Premier League for us. But the update now, the way this story has moved on, is there's been reports on some quotes from him. So let me run you through this. Galatasaray attacker Yilmaz has spoken to Turkish media about his future after reports of strong interest from Forest and West Ham. The 24-year-old has been linked with a move to the Premier League following his performances in last summer's Euro. Everyone remembers when he did Van Dijk against Holland, with Forest and the Hammers said to be chasing the player. He's had some comments that he's made on TRT Sport, where asked whether he would leave the Super League, champions this summer, Yilmaz thanked Galatasaray for giving him the opportunity to play for them and helping put him in the shop window. The Turkey international went on to say that if the opportunity to play in Europe did arise, he then hopes that Galatasaray would let him leave. And his quotes are as follows: "I am here today thanks to Galatasaray. If there is transfer news, it is thanks to Galatasaray. It has a special place for me. Hopefully my club will give the okay. I would love to play in Europe." And I love to hear those words from him. So, let's break that down. So, Forest and West Ham are the ones interested in him. Now, with all due respect to West Ham, Lawless, Jace, if you're listening, cover your ears. Your team's crap and smaller than mine, so you shouldn't really be fighting for the same players we are. I get it, you want to kind of, mess around at the same table that we're sitting at and what have you, but sorry, we're in Europe, you're not. You finished, near the relegation zone. Yilmaz would much rather come to a team that can offer him European football and potentially more European football going forward. So I think Forest, in a straight shootout with West Ham, would absolutely wipe the floor with them. And I think Yilmaz will want to play European football as well next season, and he's not going to get that at West Ham. So I think there's a very good chance that this deal could go ahead. But it all depends on whether Galatasaray would be willing to let him go or not. Now, the rumours are, when Forest offered 25 mil for him in January, that was way below the asking price that Galatasaray want. Galatasaray are apparently putting in and around a 40 million euro price tag on his head, which equates to about £35 million. So we are about 10 million apart in terms of what they want. Now, probably you say split the difference, 30 million for him, or 25 plus 6 or 7 million in add-ons, makes it up to a 32 million pound package, about 37, 38 million euros. That's probably going to be enough to get it over the line. And if the player's heart is set on playing in Europe, then don't stop him. Don't stop him. Let him come to a home that is welcoming to him. Would you guys take Yilmaz or not? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's talk to you about another link, and that's with a Premier League centre-back from Liverpool, and that's Quansah, the 22-year-old centre-back who's almost been playing deputy for Virgil van Dijk. Now, there are reports that Liverpool want somewhere between 30 and 50 million pounds for him, but would also consider a loan move away for a season and would be kind of up for that one. In terms of what that would mean for Forest, I just think this story has a little whiff of the BS about it. Why? Because I don't think Murillo's going, and I definitely don't think Milenkovic is going. And unless Nuno's planning to switch to a back three, I don't know where he would put Quansah in terms of those two centre-backs. I would not drop Murillo for him, and I definitely wouldn't drop Milenkovic. And would Quansah want to go to a team to sit on the bench where he could just sit on the bench at Liverpool, and that's probably more local to him? I'm sure he's got a house or whatever up in the northwest. So do I even want him is the question. And my answer is no, I don't rate this guy at all. I'm sure in a couple of years he'll develop into a good player, but he has too many bozo moments for me. I think back to the semi-final last year against United, bozo moments. He's had a couple of bozo moments this season as well. And yes, you expect that with youngsters. You expect them to make mistakes and get better, but we don't need to be the training ground to improve him so that he can get better and go back to Liverpool. And what have we really gained? Especially as I don't think he sits or gets in front of either of the two centre-backs we have. Now, if Murillo were to go, could I see him being a replacement for Murillo? Again, no, not really. I'd rather see what the likes of Tyler Binden have got to offer. Maybe he's not quite ready for Premier League, but give him a pre-season with Forest and then loan him out to the Championship or a lower end Premier League team, or maybe the Greeks or whatever, and get him developed there. I don't think I see a scenario where Murillo leaves this summer. It would probably be next summer if he was going to go, and that would be if Forest missed out on European football and he was just ready to make that jump. So we've still got time for me with Murillo, and we've still got time to develop Tyler Binden, who I think is going to be absolutely class when he develops. And don't forget that there are still other defenders that we have. We've got Como, who will be coming back from Olympiacos. We've got Omar Bamadeli. Pretty sure he went on loan, didn't he? Have you guys forgotten about him? I think he's coming back as well. So there's a few centre-backs that are still there for Forest if they wanted to develop. And I'm not saying they're going to get in ahead of Murillo. I'm just saying I'd rather develop our own kind of centre-backs than do Liverpool's dirty work for them if we're not even going to play them. So that's my feeling on him. Now, in terms of him, just to give you some stats on him, he's played 30 odd games for Liverpool. He's had 2 goals for them. Doesn't really matter from a defensive perspective. He went on loan to Bristol Rovers in 2023, played 16 games for them, and he's been playing throughout the kind of age brackets in the England setup as well. And then in terms of his contract, he's down and locked in until 2029. He could also play right back, but predominantly for me, he's a centre back. I'm not saying he's, freaking... who's a rubbish defender? I can't think of one. Probably just like a United defender or something. But he has potential to improve. But Forest aren't now in that stage where we need to bring in these youth players from, Cartel 6 teams. Like we did with, Jimmy Garner would be an example. We kind of built him up in the Championship and what have you. And then he went on to move to Everton and is doing well in the Premier League. That's not where we are right now. We need to be buying players who we're either, if it's a loan, it needs to be a loan with an option to buy. so that if we think they're good enough, they come and they stay with us, or we need to be buying players who will challenge those that are already in the first 11. So I'm a no on him. What do you guys think about Quansah? Would you take him or not from Liverpool? Let me know in the comments down below. So that's it. That brings you up to date with your transfer news. Nothing about players going out, thank God. All about those ones being linked in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new. If you do want to hear the latest on Gibbs White and you didn't catch the video yesterday, go check it out. I'll leave it in the end screen for you. And we'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.